Hello, everyone, and welcome to Healing Wednesdays and the Circle of 12. Well, what if in the next 90 minutes something would change your life? What if your most profound question, one that many have asked for centuries, is answered within this program? Is there life after death? And is there any proof of this? Interested? If so, then you're in the right place at the right time. Tonight's weekly Healing Wednesday program is offered for free, both for the members and on our Kryon YouTube channel, as we continue our promise of bringing the first program of every month to everyone for free. But our free programs are just a small portion of what we offer. Every week, we're here to offer teachings on metaphysical subjects, to provide a lot of different alternate belief information, and of course, the main subject we focus on is healing.
And we absolutely love coming together with you, our beautiful soul family. And this is where we create a safe place that is peaceful and filled with love. And that is why Lee and I don't discuss current events. There's no news of the day, no politics. Instead, we want you to see and hear magnificent information that is uplifting and perhaps even new to you. And tonight, it's no exception. There will be a channeling from Kryon. That's also coming, and we never quite know what the subject will be. A little later on, you'll hear from a guest who has been somewhere. Well, let's just say she has been where very few have been before, but she returned to tell humanity about it.
We're now ready to begin our program, as we normally do, with a series of affirmations. Now, we create these for the energy of every month and say them along with you 3 times together. We hope you'll join with us. Take a moment to focus within, please. Affirmations help us all to create an energy of benevolent expectation and peace. When we say them out loud, we affirm what we see in our own futures, and our own consciousness hears it. It's very powerful. So let's begin.
Right now, in this moment, I invoke the power of my divine self. With free choice, I choose to embrace the eternal love that flows to me from a loving and benevolent Creator. I acknowledge my uniqueness and that my individual expression in this lifetime is so important. I am loved and honoured by the soul family. My being here on the planet is celebrated across the galaxy. I am so happy to be alive.
Right now, in this moment, I invoke the power of my divine self. With free choice, I choose to embrace the eternal love that flows to me from a loving and benevolent Creator. I acknowledge my uniqueness and that my individual expression in this lifetime is so important. I am loved and honored by the soul family. My being here on the planet is celebrated across the galaxy. I am so happy to be alive.
Right now, in this moment, I invoke the power of my divine self. With free choice, I choose to embrace the eternal love that flows to me from a loving and benevolent Creator. I acknowledge my uniqueness and that my individual expression in this lifetime is so important. I am loved and honoured by the soul family. My being here on the planet is celebrated across the galaxy. I am so happy to be alive.
Thank you, Monica. We'll be saying these same affirmations again next week, and members, you can find all the affirmations we've given within your portal. We really encourage you to use affirmations on a daily basis as a way of designing the energy to create your reality.
Now we'd like to take a question that has been submitted, and the question comes from Romy. Romy is in Switzerland, and he's saying, Kryon's message has given me hope in these times when there is war in the Ukraine and Israel and Palestine, and the backlash of authoritarian forces in societies. But how do we communicate with friends who are doubting so much about a positive outcome? How do we translate this hope to humans who are not spiritually inclined?
Wow. Rami, let me just say, I'm going to say one word, bingo. You've hit one of the biggest issues for all of us who are light workers right now. First, let's be very honest before we can say anything to others. We got to ask ourselves, how do we treat this subject? Individually, for yourself, how do we feel about it? How do we treat it? When you read about the horrible things that are taking place, sometimes the gentle minds of a light worker, we can't even conceive of it. Or you wonder, how could we have slipped so far backwards? It seems like we're back to an energy from at least 80 to 90 years ago. First, are we understanding it ourselves? Can we look into what is happening on the planet right now and see it as part of perhaps something that we knew was coming? Something that Kryon told us about called the shift. If we can do that ourselves, then it'll help others with it as well, even those who are not spiritual. You don't have to be spiritual to see what's happening and what is not on the planet. The answer I always give is this one. It's heartbreaking to see how the old energy of the past must be somehow trotted out and displayed for us to realize what humanity no longer wants or will tolerate. The good news, if there can be any in all this, is that the effect of the inhumanity of war being seen right now is indeed impacting governments and cultures worldwide, perhaps in ways you don't recognize yet. And for the first time ever, we don't have all those East-West alliances that normally leap into everything no matter what happens, which has happened repeatedly with an old energy. We don't have that. We're not seeing those past alliances pop up. If anything, we're actually seeing a new kind of alliance. Have you seen it? It's old versus new. It's a bit like those who want to return to the energy of 80 years ago, please raise your hand. Are you watching who is raising their hand? Those are the ones who are invested in war and a very old energy and who want to keep it going at all costs. In all this, we are starting to see what this planet really wants. Many leaders are listening to a wiser group of citizens who never want to see this again, ever. Even in the Middle East, I'm now hearing this phrase, what can we do to stop the train of hate that has perpetuated all of this for so long? Finally, those are indeed the correct kinds of questions. And they're new questions. In your grandfather's world, those were not the questions. Back then, it was more like, how can we eliminate and kill all those people who are enemies? There's a big difference here in those questions, folks. One is a wise question with an answer that could have lasting effects. The other is a war question, a logistic question that has no lasting solutions at all. So what we can do, what you can do, tell people that through all this you see hopeful resolutions that may change things in a far more lasting way instead of a temporary way. So there really is hope for change. Dysfunction, it's defined as doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. You've heard that before. Wisdom is finding something different to implement that gets positive results, then later refining that process to make it even better. Remember what Kryon told us years ago about the shift that was coming? The shift that's here from Kryon. When you shine a light on a dark world, there are those in the dark who will fight tooth and nail to keep things the same. They need to stay in the dark. This is what we are seeing. It's not a surprise. Kryon told us it was coming. Kryon is telling us that it could change the way we think and the way we do things in the future. And it could start a process that will result in a future peaceful planet. There are many subtle things here as well, like how we select new leaders. That may change. And what we want from them that is different from before. Here's a big one. Suddenly we might just ask, is age in leadership a sign of wisdom, or is it a license to do things in an old way? Think about that. You've heard for years, what if they gave a war and nobody came? This is almost what has happened in this world today. There's hope for our future. And right now, we may be in the last battles that are showing us a horrible energy that we'll never tolerate again. Hope is the answer. And then the advice I always give, stop watching the news on TV and instead get it from reading it from real journalists of your choosing. How about that one? Let's all take a moment to give compassion and love right now to those on this planet who are in real trouble.
That's a beautiful answer, Lee, and that is what we do really well as light workers, give love and compassion, and hopefully you have got some good advice from what Lee shared with us. The next question I'd like to take is from Edith, and Edith is in Israel. Edith says, I am so grateful for the green mist meditations. They are pure healing. Every time I feel and sense Kryon, I feel a love wash, and then right after that, there is a huge welcome to the family party. Can you please tell me more about it?
Edith, yes, I can. Wow. And I really want to. I'm so thankful for these questions that seem to come in with perfect timing. I can't answer this without first telling our audience just a little bit more about the Green Mist, because not all of you know. The Green Mist is a members-only meditation program that we offer once a month. It's on the first Sunday of the month at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time. Since we started only a few months ago, it has become very popular with our members. So before I go any further, I would like everyone watching to know where they can experience a Green Mist meditation for themselves for free. It's easy to remember, this place where it's for free, and if you forget, just come back to this video and see this link again. You can find this free Green Mist here, cryonmasters.com/GM in lowercase. That's really easy to remember, cryonmasters.com/GM. And we'd love for you to see what people are talking about so you can have a greater understanding of what I am about to tell you. Monica and I have only done 6 of these programs as I give the answer right now to this question, but already something is happening that I did not expect. I even hesitate to speak of it right now. I didn't plan for this, but I'm going to do it anyway because it just sounds a little too grandiose or perhaps a little too weird, even for the many old souls who are watching this, but Edith did ask, so here it goes. As I mentioned, Kryon has slowly been revealing something to me about this program. From a very linear standpoint, the Green Mist meditation is a different thing from anything we've ever done. It's a different protocol from what we normally do, and it's a kind of a channeling, but not as we have done in the past from Kryon. Is Kryon there? Oh, absolutely, yes. Are other powerful, loving entities there as well? Yes, absolutely, yes. But something else is happening. And until now, I wasn't really able to identify what it was, but now I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. There is a beautiful message going on, which is way beyond the words or the music people are experiencing. What if, just what if, the Green Mist meditation is also somehow addressing a larger, more advanced subject? What if it's carrying a new loving message to some of us, the ones who would listen to it and see it, the light workers, the old souls? There's a family gathering beginning on this planet. Edith is feeling it, which somehow knows things that most do not. It's like a greater awareness is being transmitted. It's part of a beautiful, compassionate gathering, or an awakening of sorts, which speaks to the very core of our being, all of us. I've been feeling it now for some time. It's almost like a calling. That's a tough one to describe to you. Feels like everything that is happening in the green mist somehow is carrying a message to those who can sense that. And that message is about a prophecy nobody has ever heard about. A prophecy. We may be part of it. It's a very powerful prophecy that speaks directly to the very old souls who are watching. Some of us are showing up to this profound green mist meditation with 7 angelic energies, yet we're feeling something else as we're there. The prophecy is a tough one to describe to you. It feels like it carries the message that spans many lifetimes. Except the lifetimes it spans haven't happened yet. Think about that for a moment. After the first green mist, I sat there when the music played afterwards, and I felt something. What I felt was an energy that was greater than the sum of the energies I had experienced within the meditation. It was way different. That was the first time I had a hint that the green mist might carry with it something greater than what it seemed. It might have been a bigger mission. It might be a bigger message than I ever thought or knew about. It almost had the feeling of a prophecy starting to come about that was completely new and unknown. What if the green mist attracts light workers who need to know that they're part of this great future prophecy? It would be a prophecy that spoke to those who would be scattered throughout the world for the next 1,000 years or so, lifetimes to come, who would be responsible for spreading the light of kindness, compassion, spiritual common sense to generations, humanity to come. I don't have a name for that prophecy. Or the group it really goes to, just light workers. And perhaps there doesn't need to be a name. But for me, the green mist has always said this to me: Lee, the family is gathering. This is an energy that will start an entire new awareness of a different system of reincarnation. That's what I got. Say what? I told you this was weird. Okay, stop for a moment. Is it possible that our future lives, who we will be, are known? Kryon says this: if you're a graduate old soul, yes, karma won't be involved, neither will be your current Akash be involved. There's something else happening with this old soul group that Kryon has not yet revealed. It's almost like a new Akash or a renewed Akash. It's some spiritual system that honors those graduate old souls who are now in the shift, and that's us. I don't know, but I felt it. I know there is something else beautiful happening. So I'm going to use this subject at this moment as a platform to ask Kryon, dear Kryon, if it's appropriate, please tell us more about what's happening to us regarding this subject. Dear Kryon, please identify it. Do it today in this program, in the channeling that's coming. I feel that the synchronicity is right for this. Give us only what is needed for us to understand more. So, Edith from Israel, perhaps your question, the right one, the right time for all of us. You have felt a welcome to the family, and so do many others, including me. Let's see what is next.
So let's now do a meditation as we prepare for Kryon's answer to the question. And I invite you to close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Breathe in slowly through the nose. And as you exhale through the mouth, have that exhale a little longer than the breath in. Breathe in through the nose again, very slowly. And then exhale out through the mouth a little slower. Feel yourself connecting with the energy of the earth. Feel yourself connecting with the energy of the cosmos. Feel that connection flowing through your body from the bottom of your feet up and out through the top of your head. And we are now ready to hear more from Kryon.
Does the way God treats humanity ever change? Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. You have heard it before. God is the same today, yesterday, forever. There is no change. And that would be so. There is no change. However, what if that which God gives to humanity changes as we change? Systems you thought were forever and are taught in religions all over the planet as doctrine forever. What if that changes? What if it changes because of what happens here with the consciousness of humanity? I start a series of 4 channelings this month. These are the mysteries of the day. We'll call it the mystery series. We may do it again when there are more mysteries or the mysteries are updated. But this one, my partner has asked me for a clarification, and I will give it. And I will tell you, my partner and others, perhaps you're feeling something more than you think is being given within that which you have called the green mist. I want to remind all of you, especially those light workers who have followed my work, who have listened to my words, who have understood for the last 34 years what is happening. And the message is this. Dear ones, as consciousness changes with humanity, everything else will change as well. The earth changes, you change, your cultures change, your society changes, and that which you came for changes. Old soul, I want you to listen to something. There is an ancient system, and this system you have called reincarnation. The system is life renewal. But within the system, as many have seen, there is an internal system as well. That life renewal has something within it. You might call it a plan, a reason, a purpose. And in comes some of the words that you have learned called karma, akash. This would be a depository of past actions that then would influence your future life. You have all been part of that which is karmic examination. Some healers, even on this program, have asked you to look at these things which have happened in past lifetimes and said, well, they affect you now. Not just the things in this lifetime from your subconscious, but all of the things that you've experienced might also come into play. If you had a death in a last lifetime of drowning, for instance, that would be a marker, an energy marker within your akash. And you may be afraid of water in this lifetime. That is the kind of thing you are used to. Cultures call on karmic action. They will say what happened in the past in other lifetimes often then will come forward for you to solve them or reverse them or enhance them this time. Karma. These are things that have been with you almost since the beginning. They are ancient truths. What if they change? Why would they change? And this is the big one. The shift is a change of humanity. The ancients have changed their calendars. I told you it was coming. The precession of the equinox is here. Dear ones, you sit in the middle of an energy shift on the planet of humanity. You've chosen not to destroy yourself in a war, and you didn't. And instead, you are looking at war far differently today than you ever did before. It's the beginning of a change, of a shift, of how humans actually work together. And in this, there is a remarkable future at hand. And this future cannot exist with an old system involved, even an old spiritual system. It cannot exist. You don't carry old ways into a new era and expect it to change anything. The old ways must have a renewal. Systems must change. Enlightenment creates wisdom. Dear ones, the system of reincarnation is changing for you. There is a prophecy. My partner is feeling it and has pegged it, you might say. He knows what it's about. I gave him that, of course. It's not on his own. I gave him the information so it would be revealed right now. The prophecy, you might say, is this: that old souls and light workers who are going through the shift are graduate Akashic workers. Your Akash has gone as far as it can in an old energy. So the next time around, expect a complete and total wipe of all that was in an old energy, the old energy of war, of horror, not to be with you in your DNA or your cellular structure, and instead you will remember this lifetime of awakening. You will know who you are far more when you're born. You'll know what it's about. You will not have karma. There will be no old Akash for you. A wipe is happening for many of you who are returning. This answers the question to so many of you, and here's the question. Do I have to return here to earth? Haven't I finished yet? I'm going to give you a double answer. Yes, you finished. Yes, you're returning. How would you like to return? Experience youth again. Know why you're here and not have to go through anything you went through before. With the karma gone, with your Akash renewed and refreshed, you stand apart from any other human. You're a graduate of the old energy. Graduate. And when you graduate, you can see your diploma. And what does it mean? You walk out into the world and things are different, and school is over. And that's what I'm going to tell you. That the new kind of karma, the new kind of Akash that will be collected along the way will be that which is positive, that which is benevolent, the teaching that masters have. That's the prophecy. Light workers, old souls, your future will come with a different system. There are those who will say, no, Kryon, you can't do that. No, Kryon, you can't change that which is an ancient way of God. I did not change anything, dear ones. You did. You changed it all. This is what I wanted to give you. This is what I wanted to tell you. I want you to think and sit for a moment and rejoice in the fact that now you have an idea of where this is going. Many of you have been bothered by thinking about returning to this planet again and having to slog through the same thing you did this time. And that's why you don't much like it here. All of that will change. Again, I'll say it. You need to hear this. Imagine coming back again as a graduate on a path of the ascension that masters have, with a fresh Akash, not remembering any of the things that were placed in there this time, with no karma at all, ready to receive that which is positive and move forward into a new world that you will start to create with other light workers, with other old souls. There are a lot of you. There are enough of you to come back on this planet. And you will say, well, what will be the result? The result will be light. A kind of light that isn't here now. A kind of light that is produced by humanity that doesn't have to relearn anything. A humanity that is not necessarily totally dysfunctional as it has been for hundreds and hundreds of years, where it always returns to the same dysfunction. And now it won't. And you are the key. That is the prophecy. I want you to think about this one. That's a big mystery, isn't it? Can you really have something so different from the Creator? Yes, you can, and you will. You are the hope of the future. The ones listening, I am Kryon, in love with humanity, and now you know why. And so it is.
Wow, what a profound message from Kryon that we have just received. And following that amazing message, I invite you to bring your awareness back into your body. Open your eyes if you've had your eyes closed. And we're going to move now to a guest that I feel is a living example of what Kryon teaches. She's had amazing experiences that she's going to share with us, and her name is Anita Morjani, and I want to make sure she is on the Zoom feed with us. Anita, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here. Hi, thank you for having me here.
It is our absolute honor and pleasure to have you with us tonight, Anita.
It's great. We've been waiting a long time for this one. Anita Morjani is a renowned author and spiritual speaker known for her transformative journey beyond the brink of death. Do I have you interested yet? While living in Hong Kong, Anita battled end-stage cancer before experiencing a remarkable near-death experience, which you'll call the initials of NDE, that shifted her perspective on life.
Her best-selling memoir, Dying to Be Me, chronicles her profound journey and miraculous healing. Its popularity established her as the premier NDE expert and a beacon of inspiration. Anita travels the world sharing her insights on self-love, consciousness, and the interconnectedness of all things.
Her teachings empower others to embody the highest version of themselves and the live, vibrant, authentic lives that they can live. She continues to be a guiding light in the realm of spiritual exploration. Anita, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. I'm so happy and honored to be here.
Now, many of our audiences are aware of what happened to you, and you've probably told this story many times, so forgive us for asking you to repeat it again, but it truly is a remarkable story of what happened. So if you don't mind just sharing with us a little of your NDE experience and journey.
Yes, of course. I'm happy to. So basically, February the 2nd, 2006 should have been the last day of my life. In fact, it's the 18th anniversary this month. And that should have been the last day of my life because I was suffering from end-stage terminal cancer. I had lymphoma, and at that point, I had tumors the size of golf balls from the base of my skull all around my neck, under my arms, in my chest, and all the way down to my abdomen. So the cancer, basically the lymphoma, which is lymphatic cancer, had metastasized and spread all over my body. And at that point, my lungs were always filled with fluid, and my body had stopped absorbing nutrition. So I weighed about 85 pounds, and I looked like a skeleton. I was just skin and bones, and my muscles had all atrophied. And because my body was not absorbing nutrition, my muscles had just completely deteriorated. And so I had no strength in my body. Like I couldn't even hold my head up. My head was always hanging down off my neck like that. And I couldn't stand up. I was always either sitting or lying down. I couldn't walk. And I was connected to an oxygen tank. I had to have piped oxygen all the time. And so on February the 2nd, I was in so much pain and so much fear and so much discomfort that I went into a coma, and my organs started to shut down. And the doctors told my family that these were my final hours, that I wasn't even going to make it through the night. But unbeknownst to everyone around me, I still, even though my body was in the coma, I still existed. Like I had left my body, and I felt incredible, and I felt light, and I felt free. I felt better than I remember ever feeling in my life before. And I was aware that my physical body was there lying in that hospital bed dying. And I was aware that I was going through this dying process, but I just felt incredible. And I could see my family members around my body, and they were distraught. And I wanted them to know that I was okay, that I felt great, I felt fine. But there was no way for me to communicate it with them because I didn't have vocal cords. I didn't have a physical body. Interestingly, even though I was aware of everything that was happening in the hospital room where I was in, I wasn't viewing it all with like we do with physical eyes, because I was out of my body, so I didn't even have physical eyes. It was more like a 360-degree peripheral awareness. I was aware of everything that was going on around me. I was aware that my family were really distraught, and I just wanted them to know that, in fact, I was feeling better than I've ever felt in my life, and I was feeling free. And I started to notice that I was feeling this feeling of just unconditional love, like I was enveloped in a feeling of unconditional love. And I started to move further and further away from what was happening in the hospital room. Now, so much happened in that time because I was in the coma for 30 hours. So I can only give you a short synopsis here. But what I want to tell everyone, or what I want to tell you, is that the love I felt on the other side was so incredible. It was so incredible. And I reached a point where I was given a choice as to whether I wanted to come back in this physical life or to continue over there. No part of me wanted to come back because I had been suffering here. My family was suffering. My body was dying. There was no good reason for me to come back. But it was at that time that I started to enter this state of clarity where I started to understand why my body had got the cancer. And I started to understand that now that I knew this, if I chose to come back, my body would heal. And I understood that I had a purpose which I hadn't completed yet. I understood that my husband and my purpose was linked. And it was really my dad who I met on the other side, my deceased father, my dad, who encouraged me to come back. And he said that I need to go back and live my life fearlessly. And so that was when I started to come out of the coma. I made the choice to come back, and my eyes and my physical body started to open. As soon as I made the choice to come back, I felt myself coming back into my body, and my physical eyes started to open, which surprised my family. But the doctor said that I was still in critical condition. Now here I started to talk about things that I had seen that was going on while I was in the coma, which surprised everyone. I said, oh, isn't that the doctor that took the fluid out of my lungs? Isn't that the doctor who said I won't make it through the night? And my family was saying, oh, he didn't even say that in the room. In this room, he said it in the nurse's station. How could you possibly have heard him? You were in the coma. Anyway, the doctors told my family that I was still critical. Don't raise your hopes just because she's come out of the coma. But within 5 days, the doctors noticed that my tumors had shrunk dramatically. They could feel that they had shrunk visibly. And in 3 weeks, they couldn't even find the tumors. And in 5 weeks, they let me go home from the hospital to live my life cancer-free. And here I am today, 18 years on.
How extraordinary. And the part I love the most.
This is the story I'd love to hear over and over.
Yes.
This
yes.
is the story of victory. I love this.
And that you were so enveloped in love. And I have to ask a question, because
Of course.
there may be others who have seen programs that I know exist out there that show people's NDE as a very terrible experience. And so my question is, what was your kind of belief system before this experience as to what happened when we expired in this physical body?
So I used to believe in, in karma, and although I grew up with Hindu parents, I did go to a Catholic school, and I lived in a predominantly Chinese city where the predominant belief was Buddhism and Taoism. But I went to a British school, so I learned Christianity, and we had to read the Bible. So I had a very mixed spiritual, religious upbringing. But because of all the mixes, I moved away from religion, because each of these religions contradicted each other. I had moved away from religion many years ago, and just, I guess I was just what you would call spiritual. But even then, I did have a lot of fears of the afterlife, I feared that the cancer was a punishment for bad karma. So I lived a very, very fearful life. But when I crossed over, I realized that every fear I had was unfounded, completely unfounded. It was just so incredibly beautiful and peaceful and non-judgmental. It was just pure love on the other side.
Wow.
Well, I think this would be a good time in our conversation right now, because of your experience on the other side, if you would be willing to take us on a little journey ourselves on a meditation on tapping into that energy. Is that okay?
Yes, I would love to do that. So this will be a short 10-minute journey, and we will go as deep as we can possibly go and bring you back out. So this is your chance to have your own mini simulated near-death experience. So what I would invite everybody to do is just to sit really comfortably, and just sit comfortably and close your eyes and rest your body completely limp, make your body completely limp, and feel, first of all, any tension in your body, tension in your jaws, just releasing. Just let everything release so that your body is totally relaxed. And feel any tension in your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, your back. Just feel any tension releasing. That if anyone were to lift your arm up right now and let it go, it would just drop back down. So don't use your muscles and don't use any energy. Just let yourself completely relax. Now, what I would like you to do is I would like you to visualize your heart area. And I would like you to see your heart area bathed in a beautiful light, just a beautiful, beautiful, bright light, and allow that light to take on any color it wishes, whether it's indigo or gold or white, whatever color it wishes, or a combination of colors. But this beautiful light is bathing your heart area. Now watch this light growing so that it fills up your entire chest cavity. And now watch this light continue to grow, and it gets brighter and brighter. And as it gets brighter, the glow becomes bigger so that now it extends beyond the perimeter of your physical body. It extends beyond your body, so it's actually forming an aura all around your body. And watch it extend even bigger. This is your spirit, your soul. Your soul is actually huge. It is the part of you that has always lived and will always live. It is more powerful than your body, and it is stronger than your body. It is your life force energy. And watch this now getting bigger and bigger so that it's bigger than the room you're in. And now it's bigger than even the building you're in. That's how big it is. Now I would like you to see this soul. Allow it to get as big as you wish. It can even be as big as the city you're in. And I would like you to see this big ball of light, bright light. I would like you to see it start to float up and up into the ethers, into the heavens, up way above this earthly plane. See it float up and up. And as you look down, you can see the earth getting further and further away. I would like you to see it float up into higher and higher realms and energies. You are now moving away from the denser energies of this physical world. You are leaving behind the fears of this physical energy, of this physical world. You are leaving behind your worries, your pain, your stresses, your physical aches, your illnesses, your diseases, your relationship problems, your financial problems. You're leaving all of that behind because you are now this beautiful, bright ball of light, huge ball of light, which is your soul that has lived before and will always continue to live. You are now this ball of light that is moving into the ethers, into a higher and higher form of energy. And as you move higher into the ethers, you start to notice that you are surrounded by other beautiful balls of light. And you start to recognize that these are beings, these are light beings, these are souls. These are souls that have lived lives before. Some have lived lives and some may never have lived a life, but you recognize that these are either your deceased loved ones, or they could be ascended masters. They could be guides that have never taken on a life form. But as you become aware, you notice that there are more and more of them around you. And they are rejoicing your transition into this sphere. They're rejoicing that you are now joining them. They are so happy to be with you. And there are so many of them to welcome you. And they surround you and envelop you with love, just pure love, unconditional love. And as you are bathing in this beautiful light and this beautiful love that they are just surrounding you with and enveloping you with, they want you to know that they have actually always been with you. They want you to know that even when you didn't realize it, they have never forsaken you. They have always been with you, guiding you, trying to communicate with you. They want you to know that you have free will, and so they cannot force themselves on you You have to open up to them if you want to hear their messages. But they are always there. They want you to know that you never need to worry about disturbing them or bothering them or calling on them too much. They love it when you call on them because it's part of their evolution too. It's part of their mission too. A big part of their mission is to raise your energy field, to help raise yours and the planet. So anytime they can do that for you, they're there. They want you to know that. And they want you to know that the more that you try and see them and visualize them and raise your energy, the easier it is for them to communicate with you. But the more you close yourself off, or the more you distrust, or the more you are skeptical or don't believe, the harder it is for them to get through to you. So they are now inviting you to call on them often because they are always around. They are always around, but they reside in a dimension that's just beyond your eyesight, your visual vision. Now they're embracing you with love, and they want you to know that this is not your time to be physically there with them, and they would like you to remember that you always have access to them. But it's time for you to take this with you, to take this forward with you into your physical life. And they want you to know that you are more powerful than you have ever been led to believe. And never forget that. And with that, they hold you in their virtual, beautiful, light, warm embrace. And they encourage you to go back into your physical body. So now I would like you to see your beautiful, bright light starting to descend back to this world. You start to see this planet coming into view again. And you start to see the city that you're in and the building you're in. And you enter the building from above and see yourself entering back into the room you're in and back into your physical body. Feel yourself getting back into your physical body and start to feel your fingers and your toes. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and stretch and perhaps have a drink of water.
That was exquisite, Anita. Thank you for that magnificent journey. I think it's a beautiful perspective that you bring on taking us on that journey. I really felt the experience you had of being surrounded by even your deceased father with so much love. It's so present with you.
You should also know that this is, I would say, the basis of the Circle of 12 meditation we do, which is we take people to their soul and they experience just what you described. So you're really right on with all of that. I want to know something. I've heard the words and I've seen it in your work. Tell us about your online sanctuary.
Oh, thank you for asking. So this is my online platform where we invite people to join. It's a membership where we can do things like exactly this. I take people on 40-minute journeys. And what we do is we ask our guides for assistance and guidance, and everybody gets unique guidance. They get what they need to hear for their journey, whether they're going through relationship issues or health issues. So we take them on a deep journey where they can ask their guides or their deceased loved ones or ascended masters questions about why they're going through what they're going through, and they get the answers they need.
Something that came up for me in that wonderful journey meditation that you gave was the phrase that we are powerful. And those who work in the metaphysics, we're aware, and Kryon says we are powerful, but it occurred to me that there may be some people who are not quite sure of that definition of power. I certainly feel it and intuit it in the way that it comes from spirit. But in your understanding, how would you explain to someone that power of, to me, it's the eternal soul is the real power, but from your words, how would you describe our own magnificence and power?
Well, I love that question. So I give people two perspectives, and it really depends on which one. Depends on where they are in their journey, spiritual journey. So first of all, the spiritual perspective is that you are more than your physical body. Most people in this world, in this space, this three-dimensional life we live in, are taught that we are a three-dimensional physical body, and you're not encouraged to explore anything beyond that. So we believe that when we die, or we think that this physical body is all there is to us. So from the spiritual perspective, being really powerful means that in actuality, you have a soul that has lived forever and will continue to live forever. And it lives way beyond your physical body. And if the soul had a size, it is huge compared to your physical body. Your physical body is like the tip of an iceberg. That's the only part that you can see because it's above the water. So your physical body is the only part you can see, but who you actually are is much greater, but you can't see it because it's in a dimension that's beyond our ability to see, to visualize. But the second explanation I give people is a more tangible one for people who are really not able to grasp the spirituality. The tangible one is that right now, the way we live our lives is as though we are victims of everything that's happening to us. We are being bombarded with fear-based messages all the time. And we think that we are victims of our circumstances, victims of our culture, victims of poverty, victims of things like illnesses. We think, oh, that illness happened to me, and oh my God, this person's going to be president, and my world is going to be shaken upside down, and so we're victims of everything that's happening on the outside world, and so we get stressed and we get fearful, and we're like running around trying to change the physical world. What I want people to know is that you are not a victim. You have more autonomy over your life and the life that you are creating, that you are living. You have so much autonomy over that life you are living, but you haven't been told that or taught that. And realizing that actually you have a huge part in creating your life, not the president, not the mainstream media, not the news. None of these people have as much control over your life as you do. And when people start to realize that, and when they realize how they're creating their life and what they're doing to create the life, so even if they don't like their life, they are hugely responsible for what they've created. So once people realize that, they start to realize how powerful they really are. And it doesn't mean it's your fault if you have a life that you don't like, because you couldn't help it, you didn't know it, things happened to you. But it does mean you can take responsibility, you can take charge, and you can change it.
I think everything you've said is so much in alignment with Kryon.
It's a great wrap-up, I'll tell you. Wonderful.
It really is. And
Yes.
if you want to connect with Anita and check out her online sanctuary, her website is anitamorjani.com, and I really encourage all of you to go and have a look. I can't believe it's at the end of our allotted time for this conversation. You have so much wisdom and knowledge to share with us, Anita. Truly, it's been an honor, and we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Oh, thank you. I really loved this time with you, both of you. I love your energies, and it's such an honor to be here.
Oh, well, we have been blessed indeed.
We really have. Thank you.
Thank you. And so we're going to take a short break. Please go and have a look at Anita's website, and then we'll see you back here for the Circle of 12.
Welcome back to the show, everyone, and thank you to Anita. You know, we have been trying to get Anita on the show for a long time, and she's very, very busy and sought after, so we're so very thankful that she was able to be with us this time.
And so many requests to have Anita, and now you can see why, because her story, her journey is simply amazing, inspiring, and the message she is sharing with humanity is so important. So thanks again, Anita, for being part of this program tonight. We love you so much.
What we'd like to do now is move into a part of the program we call Miracle Moments. It's about celebrating the miracles of others, and it's about connecting and sending love and compassion to those who are asking for a miracle in their lives. I want you to know that the energy of compassion and prayer for others is powerful. Group prayer works, and many of our members have told us about the miracles that they have received. In a moment, we're going to send love and compassion together as a group for others. But before we do it, I'd like to ask Monica to share a miracle moment which has happened to one of our Circle of 12 members.
So this miracle moment comes from Gabrielle, and Gabrielle says, I have done the Circle of 12 meditations many times. The more I got acquainted with entering and experiencing my soul, the more awareness I received that I am in charge here. Today, after listening to a Circle of 12, I made the decision at the end of the meditation that I wasn't going to leave this time. I would simply stay in my soul. I have remained in peace, serenity, and love. So awesome. Well, I think you're awesome, Gabrielle. Thank you for sharing that amazing miracle with us. And you are actually putting into practice everything Kryon wants us to do. Because at the end of Circle of 12, Kryon often will say, stay, stay, stay. And that's the invitation that you stay in that energy and bring it back with you. So congratulations. Well done, Gabrielle. You are such an inspiration to all of us. So we mentioned before that group prayer works and it can help others. And there are many within the Kryon family and those particularly who are part of the Healing Wednesday program who are requesting prayers of help for either themselves or someone we love. And I would like to invite all of us to send love and compassionate energy to those who have asked for help. So it's very easy to do. Even if you've never done this before, it is so simple. I invite you to close your eyes and soften your breathing. Relax every part of your body. And as you soften your breathing and relax your body, there is a message and a signal that is sent to you that you are in a safe place right now. Right now, you are being connected and joined with many other beautiful hearts and souls coming together with an intention of helping others. And with this intention of coming together and helping others, there is a wonderful field of coherence being created. You alone are so powerful. And when we join together, that ability is amplified. And so, as one coherent group who are joined together in a place of peace, safety, and relaxation, we are simply going to focus on the energy of a group that's asking for prayers of help. We are going to open up a doorway, inviting all of those requesting to come sit with us now, connecting with our coherent group that absolutely knows we are loved beyond measure, that feels safe in the arms of each other, all supporting one another. And that eternal peace and relaxation is being transmitted to all those who we have just invited in, pulled in, called into our circle. And your intellect and logic does not need to know who those people are. At a soul level, there is a higher awareness. There is an awareness of every person who has put in a request, whether it's past, present, or future. There is that all-seeing, all-knowingness. And from that place of higher awareness, let us invite into our circle of safety, our circle of peace and tranquility. Let us invite all those on the planet who are requesting prayers of help. Let them come, join us, so that they too feel, sense, receive, have a knowingness that there is soul family here for them. Soul family here for them in a physical representation on the planet, taking the time to send compassionate action, love, benevolence. And so there is nothing more to do. There is a beautiful wave of energy flowing between every heart that's connected within this circle. And so we are then ready to move towards Kryon just a little closer so that we can come to the circle of 12.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon. Come a little closer. Come a little closer and listen more to who you are. Have you ever asked that question? In an esoteric, metaphysical way, spiritual way. Who am I, you might ask? I'm going to talk about that in this circle of 12. But I want to make certain that all of you listening now have also listened to the channel earlier today. This evening's program contains a channel, and that ties in to this circle of 12. The channel talked about something that was new that was happening. It talked about a newness of a system that is ancient. It's a spiritual system. It's a beautiful one. It involves all of the ancestors as well. You might say it's the way things work. And we want to then continue on that theme and make some introductions to you yet again. Because the circle of 12 is not necessarily a channel of information. It's a time when we speak to you, I as Kryon, your soul together with that of others, going across that mystical bridge, you might say, a metaphor of moving into a sacred place, and things are revealed. The circle of 12 becomes a revelation. It becomes a healing place, if you wish to call it that. A focus that is different from a meditation, that is different from a channeling. The circle of 12 is unique, and we wish to take you there in just a moment. Could it be, truly, could it be that things change in a spiritual way when you've been told forever that that which the Creator does is always the same? The answer is yes. It has to change. And it changes because of what the human being allows and does. A little while ago, I gave you information, and I said this, that you cannot take an old system and pull it into that which is a future energy and expect it to work. It doesn't. The reason this is so startling for many of you is there's never been a future like this. There's never been this kind of swift change. Swift, and I mean only through that which is a group of 30 or so years in a precession of the equinox. This 36-year window that you are now in and have been in is a very fast kind of change. This shift sets a whole new paradigm for humanity. We told you it was coming, it is here. And there are those who would ask, well, what happens when it ends? The shift actually has a window of activity, you might say, where there is a more profound time or energy or potential of change, but it really does continue. Even after the marker is passed and the 36-year window is over, the shift remains. The reason why it remains is because suddenly the paradigm of life changes. Instead of having a stagnant energy, as you've had in the past, where nothing shifts and dysfunction is there always, after the shift, you have wisdom that starts to advance. It starts to evolve. It starts to then work upon itself. You have inventions that, when treated correctly, starts to correct those things of the planet you never thought could change. Dear ones, it's a time we predicted. Guided, directed, led, governed by old souls. That is the change at hand. Dear ones, it's really a flip of roles, if you think about it, of who you think you are and what's going to happen. And in that, this prophecy I gave you, we're going to enhance. We're going to have it make a little more sense in this circle of 12. Come with me across the bridge and take my hand. We advance across this bridge, which we have done many, many times. We go through a seeming mist that obfuscates the other side. It hides it. And suddenly, what is revealed to your heart, to that which is your consciousness, is the bigger you. You meet your soul pieces and parts to the extent that is possible while you're on earth. This is new. It was new when we started it. It remains new. There are very few who are doing what you are doing now. Going to this, your soul energy, and looking around. seeing the majesty that is there, recognizing more of who you are, answering that question, who am I, for you, and making you think perhaps a little differently about what might be coming for you. You enter this soul area which we've been in so many times before. And this time I'm going to take you back. I'm going to take you back to the theater. Now, we haven't been here for some time, but this is where it all started. This is where I showed you some things, and you met some people who we're going to meet again, that you've met several times in this series of the Circle of 12. And I want you to enter this theater in the round, where there is seating all around it. And the seating, well, it's filled. It's filled with those who have sat and waited for something. They've waited for tonight. You go down a set of stairways and up onto the stage in the round, this theater in the round. There is a chair there, and I invite you to sit within it. One of the interesting things in this theater of the round that I haven't really discussed before, it rotates. It would have to, for you to have all of the audience present itself in front of you instead of behind you at certain times. It rotates slowly so that you will be exposed to those all in the circle who have come to see you. This circle of 12. The 12 representing the structure of the universe, the sacredness of all things. You are here for a reason. Dear ones, I gave the prophecy to you earlier. This is the last lifetime you will have with the Akash that you have. Did you hear that? This is the last lifetime you will have with the karma that you might have brought in. This is the last lifetime that you will have to then put up with all of the energies of learning things again because you didn't learn them the first time. That is an old system, and it starts over now. Even as you sit here with this recognition and this belief of the prophecy I'm giving you about you and who you will be next time, about a karma which starts over, there is none. It's erased. About an Akash, literally, that reinvents itself and does not come in with you and begins again. It has to. It's filled with horrible things. It's filled with old lessons you don't need anymore. You come in fresh. You don't have to learn what you learned before. You come in knowing a whole lot more of who you are. Who is in front of you? I want you to meet yet again your past lives. And they're all sitting in front of you. Some of you have a lot of them. Some of you have fewer. But old souls in general have enough to fill this theater. You've been there, you've done that. Every single body in the seat is you, a past you, every one. But tonight, they have their own personality. The you that used to be is sitting in the chair. The you that used to be is here to say goodbye. They're here to say goodbye. Because these are the ones, these past lives which are you in the chair, that you will never experience again. When you arrive the next time, they're gone. They don't exist in a history that is spiritual. They don't exist even within your soul because you have moved past them, way past them. And tonight, they're here to reminisce. Remember when? Isn't it great you don't have to meet me again as you look at yourself in that chair that went through so much horror and misery and death? There are so many there in the chairs that said, do you remember what we went through? Do you remember what you had to learn? There are a few very small children in the chairs. You know what that means. You died before you got going. And you had to give a lesson to a group of parents who are probably also light workers that will not have to have that in their Akash either. The ramifications of what is happening right now goes way beyond your soul. It's the soul family that is also involved, dear ones. How do you like it so far? What's it like to say goodbye to yourself, an older self, an old energy, one that will not be part of the future of you? The stage starts to rotate and various members start to stand up and they say goodbye, good riddance, and others, they say, remember the good parts, you'll get them again. But I won't be there. Slowly, as this stage turns and you start having the revelations from those in the audience who are you, who are your past lives, that they are really, truly saying, we're not going to be here next time around. There is this feeling of rejoicing. They are the ones rejoicing because they are you. And they're saying, this had a reason. You are graduating from this Akash. We will not be with you next time, but the we is you. Think about it. Rejoice. They are rejoicing. And then they start to burst into applause. The applause grows. The cheering is there. It's gone from a goodbye to a hello. It's graduation. You made it. And you are part of a new earth, dear ones. Can you see that? Can you say goodbye? And can you say hello at the same time to who you will be? There'll come a time when these chairs will be filled yet again with the new yous, the ones from a new age, the ones from an earth you have changed. Dear ones, this is really significant. This is the time I told you about, the time that would be the results of the shift, the results of you in graduation, planning a new earth, and now you know how. It's going to be done without the past interference, none of it, only the future. Now you know why I'm in love with you. I want you to stay and listen to more stories. Stay and enjoy the graduation. Stay and enjoy the goodbye to an old energy that never will visit you again. Truly, and so it is.